Hello and welcome to the Long Play, where we listen to some of the world's greatest albums. It's a little bit like a book club, but there's not a book in sight. Hello, Paul Smith.
Hello, Tom Figgins. How are you doing?
I'm all right, mate. I'm all right. I'm tired.
Yeah.
It's a Monday.
Well, we've just played football. In fact, for those of you who read the mid-month missive this month, you will have noted that Tom and I had just played paddle when I wrote.
Yeah.
And we've just played football.
Sport.
Yeah.
We're just the sportiest guys.
Well, it would appear so. It would appear. Well, we're playing paddle again tomorrow night.
I know.
As I said, like the bearded hipsters we are.
Yes, but yes, so I'm a bit tired from that.
All that running around.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a lot, isn't it?
Well, I try not to.
Exactly.
I try to float around a football pitch.
Yeah. But it doesn't look like that from where I'm standing. And how are you? You all right?
I'm good. I am good. Yes.
What's been going on in your life?
Oh, started a new job.
Very good.
Yeah, but all good really. You're though this week going to Latitude.
I am
Performing at Latitude, no doubt.
I am.
No less, should I say?
On Thursday night we'll be at the Lakeside stage with a theatre company called Riot Goin. We're doing some stuff. Friends of ours, and yeah, it'll be fun. We're doing it with a company called Gravity and Other Myths. It's gonna be exciting. I'm looking forward to it.
Very nice. Yeah, I've never been to Latitude. I'd like to.
Oh, it's nice. It's a nice speed. We were there, this time is going to be a bit more of a whistle stop. Last time I got a chance to sort of enjoy a bit more of the festival, but Elbow are playing this year.
Oh, we went to see Elbow, didn't we?
We did
this month.
We've got a picture which we need to put on the socials.
Yes, yeah, well, and linked directly to this album because we went to see Elbow at Museum Gardens in York. It was a lovely, picturesque summer's evening, listening to Elbow. And before they came on, they played the whole of this album.
Yeah, that was cool.
As the intro music. So obviously in honour of the long play being there.
Exactly.
Yeah, well done, Guy.
Another, precursor, foreteller.
Mm-hmm.
When I got in the car from football, they were playing Running Up That Hill. And I was like, oh, look, we're everywhere.
Yes, well, also I went
maybe we've just done quite a lot of episodes now.
Yeah, maybe, because I was at Bradford Science and Media Museum just last weekend, just reopened their new Sound and Vision, and they have the Fairlight synthesizer that Kate Bush used.
Right.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, and a big picture of Kate there with the, I don't know if it's the exact one, but it's the same model that she used. Yeah.
Great. Yeah. So if you're in Bradford, go check it out.
Go check it out. Go check it out. So there's a riot going on. 1971. We're back in 1971, having been there with Tapestry last month. A very different vibe this month with Sly and the Family Stone, and there's a riot going on. How did you find it, Tom Figgins?
Well, I had a bit of a harder time with this one. I felt it was kind of a bit stop-start. The beginning of the album, I was probably the most downplayed opening to an album we've had in a way. Mm-hmm. And downplayed, I don't necessarily mean in energy, but downplayed in a sort of announcement state. Because I felt like we didn't really get to a proper song until we got to Poet on track 3.
Right.
They felt more like jams almost, and sort of experimental sort of movements of music as opposed to songs, in inverted commas. But maybe I'm just being a bit too square.
Well, maybe.
For the early 70s. But yeah, so I found, I think the best way to kind of describe it is I kept on listening to it, and then I'd go, oh, I meant to be listening to this.
Yeah.
And it would very quickly keep on sort of jumping into being background music.
Yeah.
So I had a bit of a harder time with it, but I certainly enjoyed more when the songs. What about you?
Yeah, well, I've always been a fan of Sly and the Family Stone, so I guess I had an easier in. And in fact, Love and Hate, the first track, is a track that I've known and kind of had like on my Spotify for some time. So whilst I didn't know this album, I didn't really know most of the tracks. that kind of, the Love and Hate, Family Affair, Running Away, You Caught Me Smiling, the kind of the singles were familiar to me. So I kind of, what I didn't have really was the context of this album.
Sure.
So I knew about Sly and the Family Stone, and I loved their music, but just kind of in totality. And this album, as it marks such a point in his life, and a point actually in kind of American Black history, that I never appreciate. That's the point of the long play, is to delve a bit deeper into all of these albums, and this one particularly was it's just really interesting. I mean, he's obviously a mess during the recording of this album. I think he was famously on a cocktail of PCP and cocaine, and that's what he was on constantly.
Right.
And that was making him paranoid. He had people who would, like protection, who were to protect him from people who were against
Out to
him,
get him.
which included most of the Family Stone. The band were absent for a lot of this recording.
Really?
Yeah, he worked with the likes of Bobby Womack, Ike Turner, and Billy Preston. Billy Preston, the Black Beatle, who, if you've watched the Beatles documentary.
Which one?
The latest one.
Get Back?
Get Back. That's what I was looking for. Yeah, Billy Preston's heavily involved in those.
Oh, cool.
Anyway, I think so. They're talented musicians, obviously, but also were enjoying the same lifestyle as Sly. Let's say, and so it was a bit of a mess. The whole thing, and to have created this kind of album from that, and in many people's eyes, his classic album, against a backdrop of his kind of life falling apart, really, and is remarkable. And it kind of reflects, Sly's career reflects this like hippie, joyful Woodstock, civil rights kind of movement of the 60s, and then into the kind of backlash and the kind of death of that dream and drugs and all of those things that this absolutely reflects. And famously, Marvin Gaye released almost exactly the same time What's Going On, and this album is Sly's answer to that. There's a Riot Going On is his answer to that question. And of course, there is a track called There's a Riot Going On somewhere on this album. It's timed at 4 seconds on the compact disc.
Really?
It's silent, but he changed the name of the album in direct response to Marvin Gaye, and put that track in.
Fascinating.
So I really enjoyed the album, actually, and I think, it's weird in lots of ways.
It's really weird in lots of places.
The mix,
very experimental.
Yeah.
Which, and I'm not dissociated from experimental music,
of course.
But it felt like when I sort of think of sort of slightly, maybe I'm sort of thinking more jazz and things like that. Experimental sort of funk-led stuff. Is not where I've been before.
Yeah, I was thinking about this today when I was listening to the album again, and because being a big Prince fan, you end up being a Sly Stone fan.
Sure.
You end up being a George Clinton fan, and Parliament and Funkadelic, which kind of, again, Sly Stone worked with George Clinton and hung out with him. I always struggled a bit with Funkadelic and Parliament. That they were just a bit too experimental and a bit too otherworldly from a funk perspective, whereas this just at least feels a bit more accessible to me, if I'm honest.
Okay.
And this is the sort of, whilst it's experimental funk, the sort of stuff that I really enjoy. So but it is experimental. I mean, Family Affair, I think, widely thought of as the first number one single to feature a drum machine.
Yeah,
Really
cool.
Kind of basically, again, didn't want his drummer there, and was. I mean, that the mix on that, his vocal is right at the kind of front, isn't it?
Well, I sort of noticed this quite a lot, that it felt like, and maybe this sort of speaks to the kind of emotional and physical state they were in when they were recording and producing the record. It felt like someone's just sort of sat on the faders and is just kind of just chucking them up and down for a bit of a laugh. Like there's loads of stuff that just swoops in and out and goes all over the place. It's pretty. There's some pretty wild choices.
Yeah.
And I think that is kind of what I struggled with.
Yeah.
And not because it almost felt like in places that there was just so much going on all in lots of places. But then you get, songs like Poet and that there's like a run of, is it two, maybe it's Poet and Family Affair, and then it goes a bit more wild again. And then they have another section which is more songy through to the finish.
Yeah.
I can't quite remember the
I think Brave and Strong, and then You Caught Me Smiling, and then Time is quite a run. Then Space Cowboy. I mean, a bit of yodeling.
What's that all about? Was that him yodeling?
Yeah.
So wild.
Yeah.
Do you know, one of the other things that I thought about this album a lot was, did you listen to it just on vinyl?
Oh, I listened to it both, vinyl and Spotify, yeah.
I think this is almost an album which would be so much better on vinyl than being digitally listened to. I don't know why. I don't know why that is, but I feel like it's one of those that needs some element of analog something going on to just sort of almost stitch it together.
Yeah.
There's something about the digital aspect which just made it feel a bit too easy and strange. Easy in a accessibility sense. Yeah. I feel like I walked away from it. I feel like I know it no better than when I first started listening to it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think it does reward, like almost all albums, rewards kind of multiple listening, particularly with classic albums. There's always the chance that you won't get into it or won't like it. And, I can't get into Spaced Cowboy, to be honest, because of the yodeling, if I'm honest. But generally speaking, it's an album that I have really enjoyed living with and listening to. I think we were just talking about Sly Lives as well, the documentary, Questlove's documentary that is released over here on Disney Plus.
It's an amazing documentary. I'm only about halfway through at the moment, but I'm really looking forward to watching the rest. But I don't think I've got to the bit where obviously they had this sort of falling out, because I'm in this very sort of late 60s euphoric sense where everybody seems so together.
Yeah,
it really seems like they were taking a lot of drugs.
But that whole,
I think I've just got to Woodstock.
It is a joyful time.
Yeah, sure.
That bringing
along with all of the sort of Black Panthers and fighting
from a Sly and the Family Stone perspective, that kind of cohesion of creating this band of mixed race, mixed gender, really tight,
they were making
remarkable
band
that were making amazing music, and we're headlining Woodstock.
Was the
Sly Stone was on
Hendrix?
Yeah, Sly Stone was on the front of Rolling Stone. It's a big moment for kind of black music as well. So
yes,
it's so cool. And then
and also it's a great representation of how well revered across the industry is by so many greats. It's I mean, all of these documentaries about people like this, I think, are really important to watch and give so much context outside of what we do, listening to albums in isolation. I'm looking forward to watching.
Well, when you finish Sly Lives, watch Summer of Love as well, which is Questlove's previous documentary, which won him an Oscar.
Oh wow!
So Summer and Love is called the Black Woodstock. Okay. So it's a music festival. I'm going to say Brooklyn. I'm not entirely sure, but in New York, and it was fully recorded, and then it never got broadcast. And there's obviously a kind of race bias to it, that Woodstock was the big thing, and this music festival that featured so many greats, including a great performance by Sly and the Family Stone,
Right.
was forgotten about.
Okay.
And they recovered all of the
the footage.
footage.
Amazing.
And Summer of Love
is that on Disney as well?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
cool. Well, I
it's
look
a
forward to checking that out.
Great.
Great.
And again, Questlove does a great job of kind of contextualizing all of that as well, obviously. But it's a really good. It's really good to watch and listen to those things outside of this. Before we move on to like my favorite tracks, 1971, we've already done.
I mean, if anything, we've overdone it.
We have overdone it.
I'm calling a ban on 1971.
I mean, I still can't remember who won the league, but
No, I mean, I haven't looked it up this time because we thought we wouldn't bore you with the same information again.
Well, Tapestry last month's was 1971,
and Led Zeppelin
4.
Go listen to those episodes if you want to know what happened in 1971.
We promise we'll move on from 1971 next. Maybe 1972.
But yes. So
yeah,
it's not happening. Sorry.
So which tracks did you get into, Tom? Were there particular ones? I mean, I've always loved Family Affair. And I guess it's the most accessible. It was a number one hit on the Billboard charts. It was kind of Sly. It is. It's a very, for this album, quite a poppy and accessible track, but it's also pretty dark. It's pretty dark in terms of lyrics.
Yeah.
Also, the final track on the album, "Thank You for Talking to Me, Africa," is a reworking of a previous track from a previous album called "Thank You for Letting Me Be Myself," and this is very much a slowed down, kind of dirtier version of that kind of more upbeat song.
Mm-hmm. But I think "Poet" was probably my favourite track. Yeah, maybe it was because of the relief after the first two when I went, great, cool. Yeah. I can get behind this. But I just think that for me was my fave.
Yeah, I like "Poet." I think the lyrics are interesting. It's difficult to know whether he's completely serious or whether he's kind of taking the mickey a bit with it, because it's pretty on the nose, isn't it? But I really like "Poet." I really like "Time." It's a very kind of
I like "Time" as well.
It's obviously less funky than everything else, but it's a great track.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and as I've said previously, the singles "Running Away," "You Caught Me Smiling," and I also I've always liked "Love and Hate." I think it's a great song, but it is very I think your kind of experience of it has been that it's not that like much of a cohesive track, isn't it? Yeah, it's kind of more of a groove.
Yeah. But then, even the because I'm not immune to tracks which are sort of more groove based and less sort of song based. I think all of the pieces felt like they were very widespread and there was lots of things going on, and I felt like they weren't as stuck together as I would probably have liked. And I think that's probably why I struggled with it a little bit. But in places, across the album, there was moments that I really loved, and then I would latch onto that, and then they'd drift away. It reminded me a lot of an album that John Legend and the Roots did together.
Oh, right.
Called "Wake Up." I don't know if you've listened to it before.
No.
It's really good. It's a selection of covers, all from sort of around maybe this sort of time, like Bill Withers covers and stuff like that. But it was recorded around the same time as Barack Obama was running for president.
Right.
Meant to be a sort of reflection on, a similar time when, when Black history was being made and people were fighting for, their rights and stuff. And it's a fantastic album. I'd really recommend going to listen to it. But in places it felt like it had a bit of the soul of what's I think's in this album.
Yeah.
I mean, Questlove of the Roots.
Yeah,
Maybe
exactly.
maybe there's a link there, which is what I've heard. I also thought that John Legend's vocal style is quite sly
Yeah.
in places.
I think Sly famously recorded quite a bit of this from his bed. I don't know if John Legend necessarily has the same.
Well, John, if you're listening, let us know. But yes.
Yeah. Okay.
That was one of my takeaways.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I've I spoke on the kind of preview about his influence on Prince, and it just comes flying through here. There's so much. Prince took so much from Sly and the Family Stone. If you look at like pictures of Sly and the Family Stone, it's almost replicated.
Yeah, I've seen
Prince
one
and
photo,
the Revolution.
which is all of them lined up.
Yeah, the mixed race, mixed gender thing. It's really interesting. There's a clear line from this. He's so influential on black music, and against Sly Lives features D'Angelo quite significantly.
I like D'Angelo a lot.
Yeah, and and then obviously the roots and hip hop and all of those things. Look back at Sly's influence, and yes, he burnt bright, but this was kind of towards the end of his.
For what I've sort of heard of his life choices, I'm quite amazed that he managed to last as long as he did.
Yes.
How old was he when he died? He was born in 40.
Yeah. He was born in 43, so he was 82. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, 82 when he died on June the 9th.
Right.
So,
it's been very fitting to do this now.
Yeah, absolutely has.
I'm really looking forward to listening to the second half we're watching the second half of
Sly Lives. Yeah.
But what I want to know is how many Paul Smiths does this album get?
I really love this album. I'm giving it an 8.
An 8?
Yeah, it's really high up there for me. I can listen to this time and time again. I think Spaced Cowboy, maybe took a mark off for that.
Okay, but it'd be a 9 if it wasn't on there.
Maybe.
Wow, cool.
But, there's no skipping allowed, so I wasn't skipping it. And I think...
all of the scores that all of these albums, Dylan lost out because of...
yes. Just single tracks. Exactly. Exactly. What about you, Tom?
Well, I've thought about this quite a lot because I thought a little bit about doing something quite controversial and saying I'm not going to score it because I feel like my score is really heavily skewed by me feeling like I didn't I don't know, appreciate it isn't necessarily the right word, but it didn't jam at me. And I felt a bit shit about giving it not a very great score. And I'm not saying I was going to give it something awful. I don't think it's awful.
Very happy with my Springsteen score.
I can't remember what you said, Springsteen. But I think for me, I'll probably give it a 6.
Uh-huh.
I think it's. Yeah, I haven't walked away like a lot of albums that we have where I've been, really sort of excited to jump back in.
Yeah.
There's a couple of tracks on here that I really enjoyed, but as a whole thing, I found it a bit more of a struggle.
Yeah. I think I'm always disappointed when we score it the same.
Well,
so here we are.
I'd hate for you to be happy.
Yeah, exactly.
But here we are. We're at the end of another episode, and we've been listening to There's a Riot Going On by Sly and the Family Stone.
Yes.
But you can join us in all of these fantastic places on the internet. We're on Instagram at The Long Play Pod.
Yeah, you can sign up on Substack, where we send out our newsletter, the mid-month missive, every month.
And it's fantastic. Paul sends really good stuff. So check your junk. Make sure you're not missing out on these things because they're great.
Yes, so that's thelongplaypod.substack.com.
Yeah. Come and find us and write to us. Tell us what you thought of this album. Tell us, if you liked it or if you're a bit like me and found it a little bit difficult. But yes.
And we'll be back next month with a mystery album. We haven't made the choice yet. We're recording this a little bit earlier than normal because Tom, as we said, is off to Latitude. So we'll be back with an album.
Too busy.
We'll be back with August album in due course.
Magic. Oh well, I'm really enjoying this, Paul.
Great.
Even when the albums aren't my favourite, I'm still enjoying it.
Great. Well, thank you, and remember, no skipping.